Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. We're going to read the entire indictment and all the charges against Sam Bankman-Fried, former FTX founder and the second largest donor to the Democratic Party, according to Elon Musk. Again, according to Elon Musk, he gave an undisclosed $1 billion, $70 million disclosed by FTX officials. And hit subscribe to my super chat. Born to Raise Hogs, thank you so much. Pony Soldier, thank you so much. And Paul Bartlett, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to my super chat. I cannot do this without you. Already starting off the super chat. Thank you. Your support is greatly appreciated. Angela, everyone here, thank you so much. Mark Volker, SBF knows too much. Mark, I love you. I thank you so very much. Let me just, for YouTube policies, let me just remove that specific reference, but that sentiment is duly noted, Mark. The sentiment is duly noted. Mark, thank you so very much. I love you, and I appreciate your support. Mark Volker, thank you. The sentiment is duly noted, and let's start. To my super chat again, thank you. Here is the indictment. Let's rock and roll, everybody. By the way, after this live stream, and Mark, thank you again. I apologize just to make sure, just to play it safe, I removed the message, but the sentiment is understood. After this live stream, I'll have a live stream on H.A. Goodman's other channel. The link is below in the description. So we'll have a good time here for about an hour and a half, and then we'll have basically be an after-hours party on H.A. Goodman's other channel. United States District Court, Southern District of New York, United States of America versus Samuel Bankman-Fried. Why is he the only person charged? Mark, Paul, Born to Raise Hogs, Pony Soldier, everybody here, Angela, Joel, Eric Samurai. Why is he the only person charged? Why is this man the only person charged? That is a little bit bizarre, don't you think? Because usually, well, with Enron, Bernie Madoff, you have a number of people, so that's bizarre. But here, from or at least in or about 2019, up to and including in or about 2022, in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Samuel Bankman-Fried, the defendant, SBF, the defendant, and others known and unknown, willfully and knowingly did combine, confederate, and agree together and with each other to commit wire, okay, in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1343. By the way, these are preliminary charges. What they want to do almost certainly is definitely not. They don't want to address the main issue. The main issue is the hundreds of millions of dollars potentially that he gave to Democrats and what that had to do with his business, his scheme, his Ponzi scheme or whatever. So the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is not like, oh, well, we found this person and, we're going to just, even though he's a Democratic donor, we're going to indict him and treat him like anyone else. No. There are more charges that you can level against this man, but let's just continue. And they have to do with campaign finance issues. But here, it was a part and an object of the plot. Let's say, if I don't say certain words, there's a reason. So if I don't say certain words, there is a reason, ladies and gentlemen. So you'll have to forgive me. But it was a part and object of the plot that Sam Bankman-Fried, the defendant, others known and unknown, knowingly having devised and intending to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud, and for obtaining money and property by means of false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, would and did transmit and cause to be transmitted by means of wire, radio, and television communication in interstate and foreign commerce, writing, signs, signals, pictures, and sounds for the purpose of executing such schemes and artifice in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 1343, to wit, Sam Bankman-Fried agreed with others to defraud customers of FTX.com by misappropriating those customers' deposits and using those deposits to pay expenses and debts of Alameda Research. Dun dun dun! Bankman-Fried's property crypto hedge fund and to make investments. Okay, so what he was doing, ladies and gentlemen, and to my super chat, thank you. What he was doing was he had two businesses. He had two corporations. One was an exchange that did not trade. I mean, you could put your money, Bushranger, hello. You could put your money in FTX and you could then buy and sell crypto derivatives or options or commodities. And you could leave your money there the way you would like Charles Schwab or E-Trade or whatever, or Robinhood. So FTX was like an advanced type of Robinhood account where you could make all of these exotic trades with crypto. That was FTX. That was an exchange that kept your money and your deposits, so you could deposit $10,000, $1 million, and people did. Alameda Research was the corporation that was involved in trading. And so that was the corporation that took major bets, like hundreds of millions of dollars, perhaps even billions of dollars. And I don't know if there was a $1 billion bet, but billions and billions of dollars in total. And they would trade like a money manager. So they would make trades on crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum and they would use the deposits from, so if they lost $100 million or $1 billion or $8 billion, because that's what happened, they would use the money from FTX. So you would deposit money in FTX, and that money, without your knowledge, would be used by Alameda Research to subsidize losses. Bushranger, thank you. So HA, what's the chance the DNC will charge themselves with taking the proceeds of the crime? I think what will happen, Bushranger, is the initial attempt at indictment, charging, and prison time. The initial attempt to try to, like the same thing with Hunter. They're indicting people for lesser crimes. So, Bushranger, great point. To my viewers in Australia, Paul Bartlett, thank you. Everybody here, thank you. So, what the issue here is, they're going to charge Hunter, for example, or they're going to give a plea deal. They'll charge Sam Bankman-Fried. He'll serve prison time, but instead of 10, 20 years, he'll serve 5 years. Now, that doesn't mean that Republicans in the House won't investigate this and find even more crimes. So they're not really doing themselves any favors initially right now in trying to just charge him immediately. I mean, they're trying their best to charge him immediately for the obvious crimes, for the Ponzi scheme, and for utilizing deposits in FTX to subsidize losses and Alameda Research. And they're trying to put him away they're trying to send him to the big house, send him to prison as fast as possible so nobody talks about the potential $1 billion, according to Elon Musk, that Democrats derived from FTX funding. So Bushranger, great point. Yes. So yes, that is very likely what's taking place. But it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. So, and we'll talk about that, but let's continue reading. So, thank you to my super chat. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Bushranger, thank you so much. Great point on that. From at least in or about 2019 up to including in or about November 2022 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sam Bankman-Fried, the defendant, knowingly having devised and intending to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud, and for obtaining money and property by means of false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises transmitted and caused to be transmitted by means of wire, radio, and television communication in interstate and foreign commerce, writing, signs, signals, pictures, and sounds, for the purpose of executing such scheme and artifice, to wit, Bankman-Fried, along with others. I just read this. Along with others, engaged in a scheme to defraud customers of FTX by misappropriating those customers' deposits and using those deposits to pay expenses and debts of Alameda Research, Bankman-Fried's proprietary crypto hedge fund, and to make investments. Here's the bizarre thing, okay? Here's the bizarre thing. You have $32 billion, and Bankman-Fried is on record as saying he can give $1 billion. He would give $1 billion. So he's on record as saying he would give $1 billion. Okay, that is a low ceiling, he said. So it's not like, I'm sure Elon Musk knows exactly what he's talking about. This is one of the most important stories, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the problem. Jim Jordan, James Comer are fantastic. Ron Johnson is fantastic. DeSantis is fantastic. Trump is awesome. They have to start the impeachment proceedings because you have Hunter with hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into his businesses. That's obvious graft. Okay? That's obvious graft. Okay? And you have Sam Bankman-Fried. So then you have Sam Bankman-Fried with a potentially $1 billion that he donated to Democrats. Okay? The impeachment proceedings should be like either 2 days or 1 year plus of just intense focus on all of this. You don't really need a year. You pretty much have all the information, but you should probably derive some political, like you want every day the Washington Post, you can't prove this. The Washington Post and the New York Times, every single day you want them, you can't prove this. You can't prove that. You can't prove this. You can't prove that. That's what you want. Like, there has to be a concerted effort, like, for every Trump Republican in the House of Representatives to focus on Hunter, the hundreds of millions that he got for potential graft and potential bribery schemes, and Joe's involvement, which was definitely, he was involved and he lied through his teeth because the New York Post, Daily Mail, the New York Post broke this story. So the New York Post already broke this story. Okay? So we have the emails. We have the money flow. We have the emails and we have the money flow. This isn't rocket science. there has to be a concerted effort to focus on this. Okay, there has to be a concerted effort every single day. I mean, it's not difficult to follow the money. Beto O'Rourke here, I mean, you can look right here. You can look right here. Beto O'Rourke already gave $1 million back. He already gave $1 million back. Beto O'Rourke returned $1 million check. Do you understand? $1 million, you can wipe his behind with $1 million check Sam Bankman-Fried about 3 months ago. Do you understand? $1 million check was nothing to him. It was nothing. It was like $1,000 to him. No, like less than 1,000. It was nothing to him. It was nothing. $1 million check just to Beto O'Rourke, and he returned the check. Now, do you think AOC? Do you think Pelosi? You think how many California Democrats? How many California Democrats do you think got money from? How many New York Democrats? How many Democrats around the country in swing states? How many close contests utilized? How many Democrats that won very, very close contests won last second and they got that money? So, I mean, you have to ask yourself if Beto O'Rourke. Here's the question that people should ask. If you get a $1 million check and it means nothing, did you only give $70 million? Because Elon Musk he's not known for making claims that he doesn't back up. Every claim he's made, he backs up. Like with Trump, I love Trump, but there's a lot of hyperbole there. Sometimes the hyperbole overshadows the substance. Like we had record low unemployment with Trump. We had record low poverty with Trump. We had hundreds of thousands of new manufacturing jobs after 200,000 were lost under President Obama. We had a lot of great things. The economy was booming. It was a fantastic economy. We had trade deals but then when he would say like, oh, this is the best economy ever, then all the petulant, fact-checking, wonderful, morally superior, liberal pundits would say, that's not true, it's not the best ever. So the hyperbole gets in the way of like the actual achievement. With Elon Musk, he's like, yeah, he gave $1 billion undisclosed. How difficult is that to start investing? Not difficult at all. It's not difficult at all. All you have to do, he worked with a bunch of political action committees. Hello? That's so simple. You just go and you find out all the PACs this man worked with. American Girl! Hi, HA, sorry, but people should know better than to trust someone who sounds like a like a chick that hates bicycle. Yeah, exactly. Joel Valdez, Bankman and others know. And known and unknown. Can't wait to see who the others are. Well, we know who the others are. His girlfriend. Apparently, they have tapes, which I definitely don't want to watch. Definitely don't need to watch those tapes. But his girlfriend was running Alameda Research. So, and then there was like, he had about 10 other people he worked with. They were all like in their 20s and 30s. American Girl, thank you so much. I agree with you on that. If you ever hear him speak, he's like, I do a good Sam Bankman-Fried. He's like George Stephanopoulos will be like, so, did you utilize, I can't do it, George Stephanopoulos. Like, did you utilize money from, it seems that you utilized money from FTX to pay for Alameda Research's losses.
Actually, that's explicitly allowed. Sometimes you can do that, and it's a form of arbitrage that you can go ahead, and so it's not really my fault. I actually didn't lose the money. The money flew away. It actually grew wings and just flew away.
I can't do it right now. Actually, if I read something he said like the other night, it actually sounds a lot better. American Girl, thank you. Joel Valdez, thank you. As always. So, yeah, I mean, hold on one second. So, if donations. Let's see if AOC got them. AOC said lawmakers who took shouldn't write industry laws. Oh, wow. She's under investigation for her own shady campaign fundraising. It's so hilarious, too. Um, and he was arrested right before congressional hearing because, you know what? Republicans would have asked, so who are the Democrats you gave to? So here are the politicians who received money. Okay, this is not even like 1/100th of the list. So he's going to the Deal Book Conference, which is a whole bunch of wonderful, morally superior, very wealthy. Oh, look at this. Maggie Hassan. I wanted Don Bolduc to win. Kristen Gillibrand. Gee, that's bizarre. Why would that happen? Oh, that's right, Democrats. At least 2 Democratic senators took $20,000. I don't believe that. I think it's a lot more. Those are Michigan's Debbie Stabenow and New Hampshire's Maggie Hassan. New York Democrat got at least 10,000. Gillibrand and co-sponsor. But you know, the money flows through the PACs. They break campaign finance laws all the time. Or like, you know, Gillibrand is the co-sponsor of a crypto bill that would have the Commodities Futures Trading Exchange oversee Bitcoin. Okay. This is so we have 1, 2, 3, and then Beto O'Rourke. But I mean, come on already. You know that there's a lot more. He only gave to Democrats and then never Trump Republicans. Here we go. Here are the PACs. Okay, 10 million, 9 million. I mean, am I reading these zeros right? I think I am. 9 million. Wait, is this the same? Yeah, wait, 20 million to one PAC? 19 million to one PAC. Am I reading this right, people? I mean, I can't believe my eyes. Am I reading this right? Does it say $10 million? Or am I reading 10,000? No, 10 million. Let me know if I'm reading this right. $10 million, right? So he gives 20 million, 19 million to one PAC. And then the House majority, Democrats, 6 million. And then Protect Our Future, 8 million. I mean, this is like the DNC, he gives 500 grand. This is not difficult to find out. Hello? Republicans? Hello? Could you imagine if he gives 500 grand to the RNC or Trump? Democratic Grassroots Victory Fund? I mean, this is like, it's right here. This is like not even... This is not even difficult to follow the money here. I mean, this is the thing, like, this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. They hide in plain sight. He's hiding in plain sight. And like, you know, the live streams I do, thank God they do very well. Sometimes we have 500, 600, 1,000 people. We have 200 amazing viewers. This is the biggest story. You understand? Like, I'm bringing this up. I have 200 viewers on this live stream now. Okay, and I thank God for the 200 viewers. There should be 2,000 viewers. This should be the biggest story, and I get it. And nothing's ever gonna happen. It's already happening. Twitter is no longer the cyber internet extension of the Democratic Party. That was ripped away from Democratic Party hands. A cold iron grip of the Democratic Party, completely ripped away within months by Elon Musk. The House of Representatives will impeach Biden. I mean, it's already happening, people. This FTX person, the founder, is going to prison. That doesn't mean that more charges won't be leveled at this man. You have a different DOJ eventually, and it's like you have new crimes. So, here you have all of these PACs, and it's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. He gives tens of millions of dollars to PACs, and if the PACs are associated with any corporation, then you just look at the type of accounting that AOC engaged in with her campaign. She had corporations and PACs utilizing the same money or transferring money between the two. You're not supposed to do that, but they found a legal way to do that. That's how you would get away with potentially giving $1 billion undisclosed. That's one way. So all you have to do really is just follow the money. This isn't like rocket science here. It really isn't rocket science. But here, let's continue. From at least in or about June 2022 up to including in or about November 2022, in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Samuel Bankman-Fried, SBF, the defendant, and others, known and unknown, willfully and knowingly did conspire to agree with one another to commit fraud. It was a part and object, and others, unknown, knowingly devised and intending to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud and for obtaining money and property by means of false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, would and did transmit and caused to be transmitted by means of wire, radio, and television communication in interstate and foreign commerce, writing, signs, signals, and pictures, and sounds for the purpose of engaging in such scheme and artifice in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1343, to wit, Sam Bankman-Fried agreed with others to defraud lenders of Alameda Research, Sam Bankman-Fried's proprietary crypto hedge fund, by providing false and misleading information to those lenders regarding Alameda's research. So, okay. Let's see. Let's see. This is an interesting one. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 7 of this indictment, Samuel Bankman-Fried, SBF, the defendant, shall forfeit to the United States, pursuant Title 18 United States Code Section 982, any and all property, real and personal, involved in said offense, or any property traceable to such property, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of property involved in said offense. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defendant cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, has been substantially diminished in value, has been commingled with other properties which cannot be divided without difficulty, it is the intent of the United States, pursuant to Title 21 United States Code Section 853, to seek forfeiture of any other property for the defendant up to the value of the above forfeitable property. Okay, so the interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is a very, 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 this is just like the tip of the iceberg. And here's the actual securities fraud, money laundering, and defraud the oh look at this, the FEC, and commit campaign finance violations. Okay, so now we're getting to the good stuff, but it all leads to Democrats. So let's see here. The charges in the indictment arise from alleged wide-ranging scheme by defendant to misappropriate billions of dollars of customers' funds deposited with FTX, the international crypto exchange founded by the defendant, and mislead investors and lenders to FTX and to Alameda Research, a cryptocurrency hedge fund also founded by the defendant. So, 1 month ago, FTX collapsed, causing billions of dollars in losses to its customers, lenders, and investors. Now, a federal grand jury in New York has indicted the former founder and chief executive of FTX and charged him with crimes related to the phenomenal downfall of that one-time cryptocurrency exchange, including fraud on customers, investors, lenders, and campaign finance system. And our campaign finance system. But it all leads to Democrats. So, Angela, hello. It all leads to Democrats. So there you go. That's the interesting thing. I think it's very, very interesting. I think it's very, very, very interesting. When you look at they're caught between a rock and a hard place, Democrats. Now, maybe he set up the corporation in New York. I'm not exactly sure, why it would be the Southern District of New York. Maybe because of the FEC, or no, I'm sorry, maybe because of the SEC. And so maybe because it has to do with financial crimes. But as the indictment today alleges, Bankman-Fried knowingly defrauded the customers of FTX through the misappropriation of customer deposits to pay expenses and debts of a different company he also owned, as well as make other investments. If you deceive and defraud your customers, the Federal Bureau of Investigation will be persistent in our efforts to bring you to justice. This is the type of individual that the Federal Bureau of Investigation should focus on, not Trump, not politics. That's why we need the FBI. For these types of criminal enterprises. But you have a situation where the PAC money, that's the big issue here. Elon Musk, billion. See, this is a great article. Politicians, well, the crypto potato is great. That's a crypto. The crypto journalists are actually really awesome. They really, really are. Like those Cointelegraph and Crypto Potato. They actually really, really good websites. We're going to go ahead and this is a Fortune article though. Politicians are regifting Sam Bankman-Fried's donations to distance themselves from the disgraced. Okay, so here, Democrat, Durbin of Illinois, Gillibrand, Representative Jesus Garcia. I love how like they just the article like adds the two one of the few Republicans. They just add two Republicans. They could have added 30 or 40 other Democrats. That's fine. Gave millions of support. And so you have Durbin, Gillibrand, Hassan in New Hampshire, Beto O'Rourke. I mean, it's not difficult. It's really not difficult. That's what, like, um, if you're a Republican in Congress, is all you would need to do is find out who SBF gave the money to and find out how the money was. If Elon Musk is stating that $1 billion went to Democrats, then all you do is just find out how that $1 billion was able to circumvent campaign finance laws. This isn't that difficult. Like, it's not a difficult thing to do. I mean, they're obviously indicting him. They want to put him in prison as quickly as possible because they don't want him to spill the beans. So they don't want him to explain exactly what he did. Because this isn't just a case of, you know, it's not just about crypto. It's not just about a Ponzi scheme. When you give $70 million, that's already disclosed. So FTX officials gave $70 million. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Okay? Especially for close, like, congressional contests. But Elon Musk, that is just a publicly disclosed number. His actual support of Dem during the midterms is probably over $1 billion. The money went somewhere, so where did it go? And he gave $5 million to Biden's presidential campaign. So it's going to be really interesting. So he broke campaign finance laws, which is what the indictment states. But he had help from the Democratic Party, almost certainly. He's a liberal Democrat, okay? Sam Bankman-Fried was, I don't know if you say progressive or liberal Democrat. He was a left-leaning, like, he was very much on the left. So this isn't rocket science. Let's go ahead. Let's ask this question. How many years in prison do you think SBF will get? Less than 5 years? Over 5 years? You probably get, I'm not going to tell you. You tell me. How many years in prison do you think SBF will get? Because you're probably going to have, if they don't indict other people, let's see, would that be better for him? It's probably better for him they don't indict other people. And it's better for Democrats they don't indict other people. 6 months. He'll probably get more than 6 months, that's for sure. So he'll definitely get jail time. It's just a matter of I think he'll probably get over 5 years. He'll probably get close to 10 years. Okay. And maybe he'll get let out in 3 or 4 or 5 years. I don't know. You have the Michael Cohen issue. Like, these people, they're so connected with Democrats in New York and throughout the country. They get so hooked up, it's unbelievable. And when you have media and the Democratic Party going after people, anyone associated with Trump, they don't get the benefit. They don't get, like, the benefit of the doubt. You had 14,000 arrests. Again, I agree with why people were demonstrating that summer. But the summer before January, before January 2021, you had 14,000 arrests. You had 14,000 arrests, and then some people were let out and committed atrocities. And you had Democrats, like, paying the bail for some people. Okay? That did not happen in January. Again, it's like the January was terrible, terrible. Okay? Yes, and by the way, there was one unarmed woman who lost her life. I love the fact that they never bring that up. They'll bring up the lives lost. They'll never bring up how they were lost. And they'll never bring up whose life was lost in January. Okay? One unarmed woman, okay, who was a supporter of Trump. Yet Democrats don't care that she was unarmed. But they'll bring up her loss of life to bolster their point that this was, a tragedy caused by Trump. But at the same time, if you say she was unarmed, they'll say, oh, well, you know what? She was, they were trying to overthrow the government. So it's like they play, like, they're all over the place in terms of arguments all the time. It's just whatever emotional stance they take, that's what they focus on. But you look, ladies and gentlemen, the interesting thing is, when in January, I believe it's January 3rd, okay, it's just a couple weeks from now, people. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. It's right around the corner, everybody. You're going to have the 118th Congress, and it's a whole new ballgame. It will be an entirely new ballgame, ladies and gentlemen. An entirely new ballgame. So, this isn't that difficult to, like, it's really not that difficult to kind of, if you are a Republican in Congress, you start impeachment proceedings tomorrow. Like, the second they get sworn in. The second they get sworn in, which will be at the beginning of January. So, the issue also with the Twitter files is, I don't think people, like, really understand, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think people really get, like, the pendulum has already swung. So the Twitter files revealed that they were just making up rules. They were just making rules up. That's all they were doing, is making rules up. That's it. They had no reason to ban Trump, okay? They had no reason to ban conservative voices, okay? They pretended that rhetoric incited or compelled criminal behavior. They could never prove that in a court of law. The Twitter files show they didn't even believe in their own bureaucratic guidelines. The trust and safety or moderation teams, they were debating on how to deceive the average user. They were debating because they were saying during the Durham probe, the Alpha Bank story with the servers. Okay? Paul, thank you again. Paul, to my super chat, thank you. Um, it was just like um, it was just like with the indictment um, of Sussman. We found out that Dave, hello. We found out that the people who were trying to send information to the Bureau, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, give the information pertaining to server communication. So Trump had communication with servers, allegedly. And they had a team of tech executives fabricate, completely create, and make up that Trump and they were that Trump communicated with another country to commit crimes. And as they were trying to fabricate the story, they were deliberating and discussing things in the same manner as people within the Twitter files. Okay, they were saying, well, no one's going to believe this, but that's the problem. People hide, like if you have all of media on your side, you can hide in plain sight. So Sam Bankman-Fried, the Clintons, Hunter, the people who set up Trump, they're just Twitter officials. They were hiding in plain sight. Okay, they were just hiding in plain sight. Like they were doing things everybody knew was corrupt. Everybody knew what was taking place in Twitter. Everybody knew. Okay. Let's see. The ratio of digital to biological compute is growing exponentially. That's so funny. So what this man was able to do is remove the greatest. Twitter was really the greatest advantage that Democrats had. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that Twitter was the absolute greatest advantage? Let me ask you this. Let me get your thoughts on this. Was Twitter I mean, think about that for a second. Was Twitter the greatest advantage? Think about that. I think it was. I think Twitter was the greatest advantage they had. If you think it's something else, let me know. Hetty, hello. Indy, stop listen thing. Tammy J, hello. Senior Talopin, hello. In a way, Josh, that could be true. But in terms of enforcing sensibilities, which is what Democrats love to do, enforcing sensibilities, it was really the greatest advantage. It really was the greatest advantage because you have a situation where Um, you have a situation where they're not going to have they're not going to have Twitter anymore. By the way, I did a segment earlier today. Lauren Boebert officially won. This is an amazing thing. I believe it's now 223 in the House. Let me know if I'm right about that. 222 or 223? I think 223, right? Um, they're not going to have, think about this, ladies and gentlemen, okay? They're not, how many people get indicted over these Twitter leaks? I think that ultimately you have, in terms of the indicted, I don't know if many people or any people will get indicted because you have to show that they committed a crime. I do think First Amendment laws were broken. I think that House Republicans should investigate the Twitter files. They should investigate the allegation by Elon Musk that $1 billion was given to Democrats. Obviously, they should investigate Hunter. I think that you impeach Biden in 2023. You don't spend that. It shouldn't take that long. It should not take. You should impeach Biden like within the first half of 2023. I don't even think it should take that long at all. So, I mean, in terms of indictments, the Twitter files show something profound in terms of deceit. Unfortunately, deceit, deception, manipulative behavior is legal in perhaps most cases. Unfortunately, it's legal. That's the issue. So they were deceitful, conniving, manipulative. They were liars. Twitter officials didn't even believe. Twitter officials didn't even believe their own guidelines. They didn't even believe their own guidelines. They just wanted to, what they wanted to do was ensure the Democratic Party won. That was the main issue. That was the main thing. They wanted to ensure their political side won. That's it. And they don't have never Bidens. Like Trump and DeSantis have. DeSantis is fantastic. He's doing things that I can't really talk about, on this platform, but he's doing things right now that are fantastic. Okay? He is building up momentum. Joel Valdez! Hopefully the Bronson lawsuit is taken up by SCOTUS and we get to clean Congress and the White House. Yes, Joel Valdez. Thank you, Joel. Joel Valdez. Thank you so very much, Joel. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. That is true. I'm looking at it right now. Joel, thank you so very, very, very much. Thank you. As always. As always. I'm looking at it right now. Ay, ay, ay. Joel Valdez, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you so very, very much. Joel, as always, great point. Thank you so much, Joel. Thank you. Then, there's this whole thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, and then the New York Times here, the New York Times, like, New York Times late night isn't amused by. Who cares what late night likes? Late night is another extension of the Democratic Party. So they keep on making like Joel Valdez, thank you again, thank you. Here's the thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's like they care more about words than the economy. So they're very happy that inflation is still 7 to 8%. Oh, inflation! It subsided more than we thought. He flooded 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. You have countries on the brink of or experiencing recession. We're going to experience recession next year. And they just, everything, like they're so good at public relations, it's unbelievable. That's the issue, ladies. They're so good at public relations. It's like unbelievable how good they are. Inflation cooled more than expected. But consumer prices remain elevated. So it's like, okay. It actually rose. 7.1% is not good. Is terrible. Terrible. Labor Department said Tuesday that the consumer price index, a broad measure, including that, actually rose 0.1%. It didn't, So it didn't rise as fast. And then they say, wow, it's fantastic. Inflation still moved up, but it didn't move up as fast. So they said, okay, you know what? That's so great. I don't know. I just think that we're on like an economic tightrope. We are really on an economic tightrope. Um, it is you printed $10 trillion after you forced an economic shutdown. You shut down the economy. Inflation, so experts predict worse is yet to come as recession looms. That's the issue. This is a Reuters article. We'll just put that up there. Reuters 2023. We'll put that up. As I beg for super chat, recession. We're heading into another recession. May redefine recession. And everything is like, could you imagine if Trump presided? When Trump had a great, um, the worst is yet to come. Reuters, the worst is yet to come. CNN. We're going to have a terrible recession in 23. Could you imagine? And we have a geopolitical nightmare in Europe with they're talking about ICBMs. And it's like media is not obsessing over Biden and how terrible he is. They're not obsessing over Hunter. They're not obsessing over FTX and a possible billion in donations to Democrats. They are so good at optics because they create the optics. It's not so much that like they really understand how to convince people. They just have like they have such influence on the narrative, the political narrative in the country. Like Democrats have such a like influence. They're so influential. You have like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel have nothing to do with politics. They never talked about politics up until Trump. And now you have an economy that is bracing for a recession, and all they can talk about is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said on Twitter. That's the true power of the Democratic Party. That's why they win. That's why they won the Senate. Well, in addition to hundreds of millions of dollars from Sam Bankman-Fried, almost certainly. But like indignation is like the lifeblood of Democrats. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go 5 more minutes, and then I want everyone to go. If you're still up, go to H.A. Goodman's other channel, and I will have a live stream there. So if you go to H.A. Goodman's other channel, stream on H.A. Goodman's other channel immediately after this one. So right after this live stream, I'll have a live. So here's the link to, thank you, Brian. Here's the link to, I don't know if you can click on that. I don't know if you can click on that link, but the link to H.A. Goodman's other channel is Angela Goodwin. Honey is not an accepted word. The AI locked me out. Really? Angela Goodwin, thank you. Member for 2 months. Thank you for being a member. Steppenwolf, I agree. Angela, thank you so much. To the members on this channel, thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Angie, hello. So we'll do like 5 minutes, 10 more minutes. But like, I agree, American Girl, I agree. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's just, here's the unfortunate reality, okay? You can't, conservatives don't understand, or I should say, Trump or DeSantis voters should understand. I think DeSantis people understand this a bit more. You can't act in the same way as Democrats. You can't act in the same way as Democrats. Ain't going to work. There is a double standard. There is definitely a double standard. Okay? The economy is like, we had a recession this year. We'll have a recession next year. It's worse than it was under Trump, but they don't care. There's a double standard. They really don't care. They just want political power. They just really don't care. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still up, meet me in about a couple of minutes on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Thank you so much, everybody. Great live stream. To my super chat, Joel, Born and Raised Hogs, everybody here, thank you so very, very much. American Girl, everyone here, thank you. I will see you on H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.